What's up? It's your friend and future lover Stefan here, telling you a little story about why you should consider moving to a new city or country at least once in your life, somewhere away from your friends and family, somewhere you'll have to start fresh, adapt on a clean slate. So 2 years ago, I moved to Australia on my own, just as the pandemic, the border just literally opened. And I was like, I really need a fresh start. So came here to make some new friends. I found my first software development role. Every day was like pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, starting fresh, starting new. The old people, the old people I would be around were no longer there to support me, but they were also no longer there to, project their perception of me, which allowed me more space to recreate my own identity, basically. So when you're constantly around the same friends, they're sort of reaffirming like who you are. They're viewing you in a certain way. They're sort of imposing like their perception of you onto you now. And this is sometimes why we should isolate ourselves from people or from the world or, whatever, from the people we're most familiar with, at least for like a certain period of time. Now, I'll give you an example. My friend is, he moved into the city like a couple of years ago, started making new friends, growing as a man, evolving. And when he'd go back to hang out with his family, with his sisters, then they'd be like, he'd sort of revert to some older version of himself where he was behaving in a way which was not congruent with who he currently was becoming. So, he'd go in there and, he'd take some shit from his sisters or something. I was the same when, after high school, some years later, I'd bump into people from high school, and high school I used to be the super shy, low self-esteem, low self-confidence guy. And when I bump into people, I'd just be sort of like, I'd act a little awkward, even like years later as I started to develop more and more confidence. So yeah, it just goes to show like, just putting yourself in new environments, adapting, experiencing something new, highly, highly beneficial, really grows you. And yeah, peace out.